Westbrook will play for the Lakers without AD and LeBron in the lineup, and it's their 25th different starting roster, most in the NBA. There are those that are sitting on the bench. LeBron, of course, they're facing the Hornets. First quarter, Hornets up 7-0. LaMelo Ball with a behind-the-back lob. Miles Bridges lays it in. Bridges apologizes for not talking. Oh, my bad. You know, it's all good. Hornets up 12-3. Bridges drives in, hammers it home. Bridges takes flight for the big dunk. No need for an apology there. Just fine.
This East Coast road trip not going great.
Not going too great whatsoever. Closing seconds of the quarter, Bridges finds Terry Rozier in the corner. He will drain it. Hornets out to a hot start. Indeed, second quarter now. Hornets up by 9. Ball will sink the 3. Ball, Rozier, and Bridges outscored the Lakers starting 5 in the first half, 37-15. After recess, the Lakers once trailed by as many as 20. Now they're down 9. Westbrook drives in for the layup. Lakers now down 7. Next Lakers possession. LA shares the ball. It results in a Carmelo Anthony 3. Lakers within 4. Okay, they're making it a game. Next possession, Westbrook, full head of steam, drives in, gets the layup, gets the harm. Anthony and Westbrook combine for 24 in the quarter to get LA back into the game. Fourth quarter now, Lakers down. Westbrook pulls up, sinks the three-pointer, back to a 4-point game. Following Hornets possession, Bridges kicks it to Ish Smith. He'll get the layup to go. Smith with 22 points. Next trip down the floor, Westbrook answers right back. That's beyond the arc. Westbrook single-handedly keeping LA in this one. And look who's there! Look who's there! We gotta see! Under a minute left, Westbrook drives, gets blocked. Stanley Johnson is there. Lakers within 1. Michael doesn't like what he sees. Under 10 seconds, Lakers down 2. Westbrook with a clean look. The shot's no good. The Hornets would hold on to win 117-114, your final.
Big Perk, you here?
What's up, Molly?
Hey, how we doing, big time? Good to see you.
How you doing? What's up,
Fresh,
big boy?
fresh lineup. Somebody's ready. I see it. It's Friday.
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
Yeah.
Perk, I'll start with you. Is it time for Westbrook to come off the bench?
I think for the Lakers and for this team, yes. And I think Russ has reached the point of his career, and it's okay because everyone goes through it as a player, as a former NBA player, where you come to that time where you just don't really have it no more. And I think Russ coming off the bench is not a bad thing. See, a lot of people out there in the world think, oh, if you're not a starter, then you're not at a certain level. No, it's not about who starts the game. It's about who finishes the game. And I think it will be great because now he could come in, move LeBron James back to the starting point guard position, have Russ come in, and now he could be Russell Westbrook. He could be aggressive where he's not standing in the corner. Again, I took a lot of heat off of Frank Vogel and the coaching staff, but once again, Russell Westbrook isn't going anywhere. So with that being said, you have to find a way to put him in position to be successful. And that's not hanging around the three-point line. That's not shooting those 15-footers. That's getting downhill, dribble handoff actions, things to that nature. But I hate to say it, as of today, right now, yes, it's time for Russell Westbrook to come off the bench.
I'm not sure I agree with that. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. And by the way, great job on NBA Today yesterday. I was watching yesterday. Did a great job. Let me say this, man. Russell Westbrook, this more than anything, Perk, it's time for a realization. Russell Westbrook is going to have to accept the fact you can't shoot. You just can't shoot. Now, over the last three times over the last 4 years, you've shot 66% from the free throw line or worse, which is bad enough. You're not a jump shooter. And now Russell Westbrook, cats are laying off of you and daring you to shoot jump shots. And you can't make them. And considering the direction that the league is going in, all of those things make sense to say Perkins is right. He needs to come off the bench. Here's my thinking. I believe the month was February of 2020, Perk, where Russell Westbrook was a monster. He was player of the month. Well, damn it, he wasn't shooting well then either in terms of his jump shots. He was attacking the basket with vigor. And what he said was, the hell with what I can't do. Here's what I can do. And what I can do here is going to make you formidable enough. Like, for example, Perk, let me use a boxing analogy for a quick second here. We look at Deontay Wilder, and a lot of people question his boxing ability, right? And he loses to Tyson Fury. If you watch Deontay Wilder, no shame there whatsoever. The brother outweighed you by 38, 39 pounds, for crying out loud, okay?
Correct.
And you still dropped him twice. We got mad respect for Deontay Wilder. And if it was anybody in that ring other than Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder would have finished them. He wouldn't have finished them because of his boxing ability. He would have finished them because of that nuclear right hand that puts people to sleep. What I'm saying is that he knows that about himself, which is why he looks to finish you with it. You Russell Westbrook, it's like you're trying to prove people wrong when they think you can't shoot a jump shot. Or when they say, go, let them go to the free throw line. No, attack them. Make them do. You know, Russell Westbrook, to me, more than coming off the bench, Perk, needs to go home, look in the mirror, and go like this. Oh, people think these cats are better than me. They think I'm finished. Let me remind them of who the hell I am and attack the damn basket and make sure they know that's the dude coming at them, because we know he can still do that. And either you do that, you kick it out to an open shooter, or you attack and try to finish. And don't do anything else. You do that, I don't think he has to come off the bench.
Yeah, but Stephen A., here's the point. When he did that in Houston, remember, Houston had to give up a huge piece of their culture in order to open up things for Russell Westbrook to be able to do that in trading Clint Capella. Okay, that's one thing. Let me tell you something. When I look at Russell Westbrook, a guy that played with him for 4 years in Oklahoma City Thunder, right now I see a Russell Westbrook that's broken. And it hurts
I agree
me.
there.
It hurts me.
I agree.
And I don't see the same edge. He didn't get taken out the
Broken
game.
how?
I'm about to explain, Molly.
Okay.
He didn't get taken out the game the other day because of him going 5 for 17 from the field. He got taken out the game because of when he ran back on defense and his body language and his lack of effort on the defensive side of things. And Frank Vogel said, I just can't have this. I can't have this. I can't have you jogging back in transition. I cannot have you guarding Karis LeVert knowing that he wants to go right. Look, he's not even involved into the play right now. Check him out. Karis LeVert, we know he wants to go right. So like this lack of effort right there when your other 4 guys are out there playing at their highest level, this is not the Russ that I'm used to seeing. And so I said this when we first came on First Take, when the Lakers first formed. I said what? This is going to be a different type of pressure for Russell Westbrook. He's playing in one of the biggest markets in the history of sports. He's playing at home, and it's just something not right. And Molly, why I say that I feel like he's broken, I'm listening to his post-game interviews, and he's saying things to, it's bigger than basketball. It's more than life. No, it's not right now. Yeah, it's about basketball. It's about basketball. Yeah, everything
But
else
do you
in
think
life.
he's just saying that to deflect?
No,
And to act like it's
no.
not bothering him like that? Or you really think his mind is out?
I don't think championship needs to be mentioned in the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm worried about them getting past the first round. That's how I feel about the Los Angeles Lakers in all seriousness. And the reason that I feel that way is because of how they looked even before AD went down. They were like 16 and 14 before AD went down, okay? And they were having problems defensively. And AD and LeBron obviously signed off on Russell Westbrook being there as well. I'm not faulting Russell Westbrook the way other people are. He gives 100%. He never cheats you with effort. He is what he is. I'm going to tell you what I fault Russell Westbrook about. I fault him about 3 things. I fault him about his perimeter shooting, which is virtually non-existent in my mind. He's not a shooter. Leading the league in turnovers.
Yep.
And forgetting who the hell he is. And what I mean by that is, forget about what people say you can't do. Do what you know you can do. When he was player of the month in 2020 and he averaged 27 for the season against the Houston Rockets, he came on strong over the last several months because he attacked the basket with vigor and he forced you to deal with him. He ain't worried about what you were talking about he couldn't do. He attacked, okay? He was in attack mode and attacking that basket. I think that's what he needs to get back to. And outside of that, here's what I would address to you about Frank Vogel. First of all, as it pertains to AD, people walk around. I'm appalled at his 17% shooting from three-point range. He's completely lost his perimeter shot. But he's still averaging 24 and 10. AD is AD. I mean, this brother's big time. Now, he might not be a top 5 player in the world right now, but the brother big time, and people talking about him like he's some scrub. AD ain't no damn scrub. AD is very formidable. And LeBron is playing like an MVP candidate. It's just that the Lakers have been so sporadic, we can't consider him for MVP because obviously he has some leadership responsibilities as well, and people are looking at it from that perspective as well. But numbers-wise, LeBron is right there. I've never advocated for Frank Vogel's firing. And that's what I want to make sure that I'm clear with you about.
Okay.
What I said was he will be the scapegoat. Russell Westbrook's making $44 million. Next year, he makes $47 million. Okay? In the last year of his deal, assuming he opts in, which I believe he will, to get to $47 million. Okay? So LeBron ain't going nowhere. AD ain't going nowhere. And they convinced Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss to sign on Russell Westbrook. So the team that you assembled is the team that you assembled. That's their responsibility as well as Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka ain't going to fire himself. I don't think Jeannie's going to let go of him. And when Magic Johnson is tweeting that there's no excuse for this, and I'm saying it's cold because it's time for a change, the one thing that I am critical of Frank Vogel about, and I'm not saying he deserves to be fired, I'm saying you wasn't the first choice. That was Ty Lue. You wasn't the second choice. That was Monty Williams. You wasn't the third choice, which was Jason Kidd. It's just that they couldn't hire Jason Kidd, they felt, because of off-court transgressions from years earlier, which should have never been the issue with hiring Jason Kidd. Frank Vogel was here on Get Up. He was working at ESPN, okay? He wasn't there. He took that $5 million a year, and you went there. But the reason why you were head coach is because defense was your signature. You cannot be Frank Vogel and have a team 18th in defensive efficiency, 27th in points allowed. You cannot have
Can we
that.
get to the real crux of the problem? You see, when LeBron James was with Miami, who was
Pat Riley.
leading LeBron James?
Pat Riley.
Okay.
And D-Wade.
With the exception of Cleveland, where Kyrie made an incredible shot down the stretch, right? I still give him a lot of credit. I think what happens with LeBron is that people acquiesce to what he wants so much. And I'm not saying that LeBron can't make incredible decisions.
Sure.
But there's nobody saying, no,
Right.
this is going to be the way that we're going to do this.
Right.
And I think culturally, that's what happens with the Lakers right now.
1,000% correct.
That's their problem.
1,000% correct. But still in all, you've been around long enough to know what I'm saying is right. Even if it's not Frank Vogel's fault, you know we're going to take the fall.
But that's my problem, though, Stephen A.
I agree. I agree.
Do you go to Phil Handy?
No.
And I love Phil Handy. Do you go to Dave Fisdale?
Can I just
like
say
his record is
let me say
nobody
this to you.
fixes
Let
that
me say this
problem.
to you. I wouldn't hesitate to go to Phil Handy. And I don't and knowing Phil Handy the way that I do, he would never want this job, because he wouldn't want it under these conditions. You understand what I'm saying? Because everybody's talking about Frank Vogel. He don't roll like that. We've known Phil Handy for years. But let's understand something about a Phil Handy. Cleveland Cavaliers win a championship. Phil Handy's the coach, assistant coach.
Assistant. Never been a head coach.
Toronto wins a championship. Phil Handy's an assistant coach at Toronto. Lakers win a championship. Phil Handy's. How many places do you have to be before you? There's plenty of coaches that have never been assistants that have gotten head coaching jobs. How come a guy that is an assistant, that is huge on player development, how come he can't be considered?
Because it automatically sets him up for failure right out of the gate.
Okay,
and I think if you're Phil Handy, you can't take that out.
No, I'm saying I don't think he would.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, to address your question, I'm saying I agree with you because of the conditions that exist with the Lakers. But don't tell me that it would be, something that's utterly ridiculous if the Lakers sat up there and said, well, the hell with all that. We're looking at him over a Fizdale or somebody else. Because at some point in time, you got to be like a Pittsburgh Steeler. Mike Tomlin was a coordinator. You got to give somebody a chance. And there's something about them that can galvanize people to maximize their potential. I think Phil Handy's that kind of guy. That's how much I believe in him. I'll say this to you. If I were the Knicks, and of course I wouldn't, there's a Tom Thibodeau. There's a Tom Thibodeau. But would I hire somebody like that? Yes. Would I hire a Mark Jackson? Yes. I mean, I would do that. Mark Jackson was never an assistant. Mark Jackson goes to Golden State, and he built the foundation that Steve Kerr piggybacked off of, and Steve Kerr took it to another level and deserves credit. But there's nothing wrong with taking that chance.
Understand.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I just don't think Phil Handy would want that situation, nor will he fix some of the immediate issues.
Right.
For the question ends up happening. It was trending last night on Twitter, and it made me think, damn.
Okay.
It really made me think.
Okay.
Now, I know Russ was already there, but do you try to go back and get a guy like John Wall? Maybe see if you can get a guy like Eric Gordon with John Wall.
No.
Another perimeter shooter and a defender.
John Wall got mad love and respect for him. John Wall hasn't played in a couple of years.
I understand.